And we're back. And I'm here with Karen Raymore from the Hocking Hills Tourism Association. Thanks so much for coming today.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me some of the things that makes Hocking Hills so unique for weddings?
Well, it's very popular for destination weddings, I think, because of the very unique natural beauty. A lot of brides want a waterfall for the backdrop for their wedding. And it's just the uniqueness of the area. Also the fact that it's close by that makes it a very popular destination for weddings.
Yes, it's rather close for pretty much anywhere in Ohio to travel.
Really, in the entire Midwest. The Hocking Hills is within a day's drive of 60% of the U.S. population, so makes it very accessible.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, as far as things for guests to do when they are invited to a wedding, what are the things they can do?
Well, first, I think the reason Hocking Hills is so popular as a wedding destination is that you can have your family and your friends at your destination wedding without it costing them an arm and a leg. For a lot of brides and grooms, they have to choose between a very small, intimate wedding in a faraway destination versus something where all of their loved ones can participate. The Hocking Hills brings the best of both worlds together. So you can have all your family and friends, you can have a destination wedding, and while your family and friends are there, there's tons of activities. So in addition to a wide variety of lodging choices, whether you're looking for just a little cabin or a lodge that can house multiple families, that's all available. But in addition to that, the activities range from hiking and horseback riding, and the Hocking Hills is the canopy tour capital of the Midwest, so if zip lining is what you're into, you can, we've even had people get married on the zip line. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. You can get as adventurous as you want. There's lots to keep everybody busy and entertained both before and after the ceremony.
Now, didn't you tell me earlier that somebody got married in a balloon?
That's right. The Georgian Manor B&B offers hot air balloon weddings. It's a little bit dicey because the weather has to be perfect. So if you're a bridezilla, we wouldn't recommend this approach because it could just send you right over the top. But you know, if you can roll with the weather, a hot air balloon wedding is very popular, and they have done several that take off right there from the front lawn of a Georgian Manor, which overlooks Lake Logan. It's a beautiful setting. They have been one of the top locations for weddings since the very beginning of destination weddings in the Hocking Hills.
Now, how many different locations do you have?
They're almost endless because of all the state parks. You've got all the different sites in the Hocking Hills State Park, Lake Logan State Park, Lake Hope State Park, 2 nature preserves. So that, in addition to you know, over a dozen churches and privately owned properties that have set up gazebos and, you know, wedding venues on their properties. So the assortment of locations is just about endless. There are some limits. If you want to get married in June in front of the waterfall at Ash Cave, you better get your name in now. It does require a permit from the state park, and in fact, I spoke with them this morning. They said June and October are already starting to fill up for this year as far as the number that they can accommodate.
So how do they get this permit that you're mentioning?
The easiest way is to contact, if you go to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Parks website, and you can just Google Ohio State Parks, and then select Hocking Hills State Park right there. They've got permits. You can also go to our website, which is 1-800-Hocking.com/Hocking Hills Weddings, and that will take you to a whole list of resources and links, including get you to that permit. So it's a pretty easy process. At the very most, it takes 4 weeks to get your permit. So it's not something that you have to do a year in advance. For the most part, the folks at the state park tell me a week to 2 weeks, and they get it processed for you.
So it's just when the busiest months that they really should plan further in advance. Now, as far as your other locations, how far in advance? I mean, are they planning 6 months out? Are they planning?
It depends on the bride and groom, because we have a lot of people that elope to the Hocking Hills, and it's just the bride and groom and someone to officiate the ceremony. It's, very small. In that case, it takes very little time because all you need is a license. There's no waiting period for a wedding license, no blood tests required. So, but you do have to appear on it at the courthouse together on a day when the courthouse is open. So that would be Monday through Friday with the exception of holidays. So you do have to make that much of a plan, but it doesn't require weeks and weeks of planning.
So could they just actually call and maybe get married within 24 hours?
Well, only if they're going to arrive on a day that the courthouse is open to get their license.
Okay.
And then they can...
Yeah. But I mean, they could do it pretty quickly.
And on that website that I just mentioned, there's a whole list of people that do the planning for you. So they will make sure that you've got a venue, and again, offering their services to just that very small bride and groom and nobody else, all the way up to 200 guests and a much larger event and needing a much larger venue.
Well, I just think it's nice that they have, you can plan for it in advance, it's short, either way you want to go, and it's close, I mean, pretty much to anybody in Ohio.
It really is. I mean, I think that's why it's as popular as it is, because you don't have to make that choice of destination wedding or can I have my family and friends there. You can do both. And as I said, we've got venues that can accommodate groups as big as 200. So,
that's
yeah, which is pretty. Now, if you want 1,000 of your closest family and friends, probably aren't going to be able to do it in Hocking Hills, but it really is ideal for intimate weddings. A lot of second marriages, great spot. A lot of places that people come to get their vows renewed. So whatever you want to celebrate, and then we see an awful lot of married couples come back every year and spend their anniversary there.
Oh, that's so nice.
We're coming up on Valentine's holiday, so we expect there will be a lot of proposals as well.
Yeah,
which is typical for Valentine's.
Yes. It would be very romantic.
That's what we hear. A lot of our cabins have books in the cabins where guests can write about their stay, and they are literally filled with stories of proposals, of anniversaries, of honeymoons. So it's known to be very romantic.
Now, where can they find out more information as far as the websites that they can go to?
Well, certainly in general on the Hocking Hills, www.1800hocking.com. You can also call 1-800-HOCKING. A real live person answers the phone. No machine. 7 days a week we're there.
Nowadays.
I know it's hard. Nobody believes that, but it's a real live person 7 days a week. We'll answer the phone, and we have a wedding planning kit that we can send. It's also all the information is available online. To go directly to it on our website, it is the 1-800-HOCKING.com/Hocking Hills Weddings, and it'll take you right to all of those resources.
Well, thank you so much for Karen for bringing all that great information.
My pleasure.
Okay. That's the end of our show, and now we want to share with you a real wedding from Hocking Hills, and we'll see you next week.
You lost it all that night, with the streets all lit up. There was beauty in your eyes. You said, let me come back alive. Could the soles of your shoes not spare for a life? We stuck around for the snow, me and you and everyone we know. You said, what have we got to show? Ground's still wet and our lungs are full of smoke. I seen the colors I earned. Beyond these walls is the city that I am. You've been doing just fine, I heard. For it all. through the streets with no idea of what we saw. We said, let's pick ourselves up before we fall. Threw our ashes to the ground, walked away, and that was all. You lost it all that night. With the streets all lit up, there was beauty in your eyes. You screamed, let me come back with my life. I seen the colors I earned. Beyond these walls is the city that I am. You've been doing just fine, I heard. You gave yourself that night. We were sitting